Welcome back to No Shit MMA on thatchannel.com, sponsored by Extreme Couture Toronto and this bitch's supporting company, Canadian Fighter. He's wearing a girl's shirt, by the way, everybody. I just want you to know that. It is a fucking ladies' t-shirt. But who gives a shit about Robin? Let's talk to our guest. Yeah. Let's talk to our guest, Robin, and enough about you already. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jeremy Horn on the phone, who happens to have fought 105 times. He's won 81. He's lost 19. He's had 5 draws. That is fucking crazy considering you are, what, 35 years old, Jeremy?
No, I'll be 34 this year.
Jesus. Holy shit! Wow. So you fight once a week? What the fuck?
What's the year? What's the most
pretty busy.
What's the most you've ever fought in a year?
In 1999, I believe I had 35. Wow.
So that's how
3
many
fights a month.
Did you have like 7 fights an hour for like a couple
no,
days?
the sport was actually real busy back then. So I mean, I would fight every weekend or every other, or sometimes there were some 8-man tournaments, so I'd get 3 fights in one night. Wow. So, but I mean, I think it was a little more than every other weekend.
Wow. Well, 35 out of 52 weeks, that's insanity, man. And so
crazy.
During that period, you know,
they were almost all wins. I'm just looking at your 1999, you lost once.
That's fun.
That was a fucking good year, man.
Yeah. You should buy some.
You should buy some wine from 1999.
I should. That would be like a medal.
Yeah, absolutely, like a tribute to yourself.
So I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, your style, obviously, your grappling is like, you know, top of the food chain. And you can wrap guys up and take them down and just do something nasty to them. I mean, but even with that, you must have got fucking hurt all the time, right? Like in that year?
No, I try to stay pretty safe and pretty healthy all the time, so I didn't really get hurt that much.
That's insanity, man. Like, and what about now? How many fights have you had this year?
Not many. I've only had, I slowed way down once I opened my gym. I think I've had maybe 2 fights this year.
Wow. Yeah. Looks like you've had 2. One at UFC 93.
Yeah.
And then you fought at Adrenaline MMA 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty fuck, man, dude. I can't even process everybody.
He's looking at your record here.
Insane.
It is really nuts.
It's distracting, actually. It's making it difficult for me to talk to you because I keep reading all the names.
So
you fought the fucking who's who of MMA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fought pretty much everybody out there.
Yeah. And so tell us a bit about your gym now, if that's where you're spending most of your time.
Yeah.
You know, what type of people are you training, from fighters to regular, and who's some of the people that come there, and tell us a bit about it.
Yeah, you know, I've got everybody, like you said, from just average people that want to get in shape to, you know, to guys that are getting ready to fight in the UFC. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw the Ultimate Fighter show.
Yeah.
But DeMarcus Johnson trains with me. He just fought in the finale of this most current season. I think.
Yeah, he did really well.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got a lot of guys that are a lot of amateur, low-level pro guys that are getting started and moving towards big things, and then I've got, you know, a lot of guys that are just interested in getting in shape and having fun. So
that's pretty cool. Could you do anything with a dirtbag like Robin, who's a 1 and 2 fighter?
Absolutely. I've actually got a guy that's 1 and 2 at my gym, and he's actually really, really tough. He had a couple of fights early on when he really wasn't ready for it, and lost both of them, and then he took it seriously and started training, and now he's crushing people.
That's pretty much where I'm at.
Everybody's got a chance.
That's pretty cool. That is a bit of Robin's career, except for Robin may finish his career 1 and 6, but who knows?
Yeah, no.
Hey, you never know.
Joe cornered me for my win. Dirksen, he's a buddy of yours, right?
Maybe that's the catalyst. Maybe you need to get Joe in your corner every time.
Yeah. Or get Jeremy in your corner. Or Joe and Jeremy.
What if both you guys?
Everybody.
Yeah,
if you had those guys in.
Hey, do you have a lot of guys fight on that Utah show that they have every week? That what's that one?
UCE, buddy.
Ultimate Combat Experience. Do you have guys fight on that?
You know, I had some guys fight on that early on when I first opened the gym, but then I had kind of a nasty falling out with the guy that runs that.
Stidham.
So we don't support them anymore.
Stidham is the guy's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get along with them, because that was
he really doesn't treat fighters very well, and a lot of mismatches, a lot of shady things go on with that show. So.
That's unfortunate.
I didn't want to have anything to do with them anymore.
So, I mean, that brings up an interesting point. When you fought 100 times, you've seen every level of promoter. You've seen every type of card. What's some of the shadiest shit you've ever seen in the last 10 years?
Oh, wow. That's a tall order. How much time do you have?
Yeah, give us a couple things.
Give us like the top 2 or 3 that you can just think of off the top of your head.
Because our other guest here, Ian, he is one of the promoters.
You know, obviously, some of the worst ones would be, you know, accepting a fight for, you know, X amount of dollars, or, you know, a certain time. You know, I just had a guy, this happened to one of my guys not long ago. we accepted a fight, and it was supposed to be 5-minute rounds. And then during the first round, after it had started, we found out that they were actually going to be 3-minute rounds.
That's hilarious.
They changed that at the last minute. They didn't even tell us. We didn't find out until the round was already going. And,
that's comedy.
One time I had a promoter, and I don't know if this was an honest mistake, but I would tend to think not. I go up to a fight, and the promoter, or one of the promoter's people tells me, hey, your opponent's not going to be able to make weight. You know, he's 2 or 3 pounds over. He's not going to be able to make it. Are you okay with that? And I was like, well, not really. You know, I mean, I made weight. You know, I made 205 because it was a light heavyweight. I'm like, you know, my weight was, I'm good. He needs to also. And the guy went, oh, he's 188. He thought it was at 185. That's, you know.
Wow. So
somebody told him the wrong weight class, and I don't know if it was just a mistake or if they were just messing with him. But yeah, he.
Did you fight him?
Was pretty unorganized. Yeah, he tried to cut to middleweight when the fight was at light heavyweight.
Wow.
And obviously all the typical stuff. You know, you're promised a certain amount of money, and then they try and switch it up on you, or you know, you're promised some travel money if you're driving, and then they try to hold out on you.
Right.
There's always kind of stuff like that going on, but that's.
You ever get in a
that doesn't make sense to do that to fighters.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a physical altercation with a promoter or one of his representatives?
No.
Have you ever seen one?
Stay pretty mellow.
Have you ever seen one?
No, I've heard, you know, about some close ones, but nothing really.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Like, I mean, you're still so young, and you're teaching and stuff, but you've already literally seen the whole sport kind of come into its own, go through its dark periods. And what do you think of where it's at now?
You know, I'm kind of an old school guy. I would like to see some of the more recent rules go away. I mean, I would always opt for, you know, no time limits, no stand-ups, that kind of thing. But overall, I like the way the sport's going. I mean, it's gaining a lot of popularity. It's gaining a lot of momentum, and I think that's a good thing for the guys that are fighting now. She's going to give them the opportunity to make more money, and you know, really give them an opportunity to make a living at this.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, when I was growing up in the sport, so to speak, you know, it was hard. I mean, that's why I fought so much. Making $300 a fight is hard to pay the bills.
Yeah. So you fought 30 times that year. Let's call them 500. Were you making 500 to 1,000?
Oh no, hell no! Like 200 to 500 usually.
So let's average it at 400 times 30. You made $12,000 fighting that year.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then will you make another couple hundred in sponsors or no?
No, there were no sponsorships back then. You know, Tap Out sponsored me early on, but it wasn't money very often. You know, they were always broke, and you know, there's a couple $100 here and there when I see them, but you know.
Wow.
How are you doing with sponsorship these days?
You know, it bounces around a lot. Sponsors are pretty finicky, you know. I mean, if you're not fighting on pay-per-view, they don't want to use you. If they think you're not going to fight for more than, you know, a 6-month layoff or whatever, they don't want to use you. So, you know, overall, I mean, the sponsors are taking care of the fighters that are doing something big.
Right.
But, you know, they're still a little shy about supporting the guys at the lower levels.
So who have you got? You were saying you worked with DeMarcus Johnson, who fought in the finale. Who else have you got that is kind of making waves that you've got big hopes for?
You know, nobody that you would know on a national level yet. Just a lot of guys that are doing things locally and that are getting ready to break out into, you know, into regional and national level stuff. So.
So yeah, man. As soon as we start talking to you, I just keep thinking of like a million questions for you since you've seen and done everything. But Joe Dirksen was telling me that he comes down to train with you. When you go to fight, do you bring in guys? Like, is there certain guys you bring in?
You know, it depends on what's going on in the time frame. Sometimes I take fights a real late notice, last minute thing, so there's not time to do something like that. But yeah, I mean, if I've got a fight lined up, some time out, and you know, and then my training partner's schedule will work out. You know, Joe and I train together a lot. He's a real good friend of mine.
Yeah.
So you know, when I've got fights coming up, he'll come down here, or if he's got a fight coming up, he'll come down here. Sometimes I'll go up there.
Yeah.
You know, so we try to get together pretty regularly when the circumstances will allow it.
Yeah.
So when you go up to train with him, because he talks about this quite a bit. Does he hook you up with all the local hoes that he works?
No, he keeps all the local hoes to himself.
All the Winnipeg hoes?
He doesn't like to share.
Yeah.
Are you a single guy?
No, I'm dating a girl. I've been in a relationship for almost 7 years now.
Wow. Oh, is that why you're saying what you're saying?
Yeah. Just in case she's listening.
Dude, whatever. I mean,
I'm saying that because Joe's greedy and he keeps all the hoes to himself.
That's true. No, that part is true. Joe does keep all the dirty stuff for himself.
All right.